Now I'm going to start the recording because people are here. Okay, so for you, I want to show you something, Cordell. This is
Okay.
basically Patrick's page, and I want to give her the mic in just 1 second, um, to kind of like explain to you what allowed her to let her have success, especially like with the way she did it, right? How did she get over particularly that fear of like showing herself, of, getting started with her first few posts? Keep in mind as well for Patrice, she actually has had a decent amount of pages already as well. I can
Mhm.
remember that me and her jumped on a call like a long, long time ago, and her page was completely different than right now. And I want to kind of show what she's doing right here with like challenges, right? And this is a completely new format, as I was just saying, like there's new formats coming up every single day and every single week that you can literally utilize, right? So it's so funny to see how, it's so ever changing. It's so ever changing. So if you were like in the trends, same thing with shoutouts, right? Shoutouts the same thing. Shoutouts are more like, long story short, shoutouts are basically posts that you buy on theme pages, right? It's one of the ways you can monetize. And
Mhm.
for shoutouts, that's how like these really big theme page owners make like a passive 20K a month, just because it's
Mhm.
literally digital real estate, right? They buy a promotion like other people, they post it, and all these people that buy promotions, they either can do specific shoutouts, right? Where they like make a post about themselves or like specific about their account, or they can do group shoutouts. Group shoutouts is like with other people, it's cheaper and you get more followers. But the
Mhm.
only issue is that the quality of the followers is way lower. So you're taking a chance for the long term to build a bigger audience, but more wider, so less specific, so also less cash, basically. So if you want more like a cash flowing type of business, I'll show you actually one of the ads as well, that one of our previous clients did. He's not unfortunately a client anymore, but we had him for I think about 5 months. So it was pretty cool. It was a tremendous journey, honestly,
Yeah.
being able to run advertisements for him. So we were running ads on this page, Wealth, also on a couple of other ones. And this was our client, Cheetah B&B. Uh, and we basically ran these type of ads, right? And right now they're kind of like transitioning more in-house, where they're going to be doing it themselves. And
Mhm.
as you can see, they are kind of testing out some posts before, but everything below here, me and my team did. So it's pretty cool. And then we were responsible for the whole back end in terms of sales, in terms of everything that happened after. So long story short, you can run specific ads or you can run generic ads. Generic ads are more like, uh, wider. And I
Mhm.
kind of want to go into this topic because I want to explain to you guys how it kind of works, especially with scaling. Scaling your personal brand, for example, or scaling like a service-based business. This is like stuff that people teach you in eight-figure masterminds, but I'm gonna show you now. So let me quickly see. Think it's this one. Yeah, this is basically a generic shout out, right? Like a group shout out. As you can see, there's a whole bunch of people mentioned in the caption. And I think I'm also here. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, here, the 14th. I'm here as well. So I basically pay to be in this group shout out, right? Obviously, for shout outs, every single post attracts a certain audience, right? So, for example, here, schools in Virginia have started arresting trans people and trans allies, right? It's a big question of like what specific audience it attracts, but it always attracts a majority of the existing audience of that theme page, right? So if the theme page is good in terms of its audience, the country percentage, where they're from, the age, the gender, etc., it typically will attract a certain amount of people. If it goes viral, then the chance of it reaching a different audience is going to be way bigger. But long story short, you can choose to go this route, right? So pros is you get more followers. It's better for the long term, in my opinion. And cons is basically that you get less specific people, which also makes it harder to sell a very high ticket program, for example, to your current followers, just because you get less specific followers, right? So you get more people from third world countries, for example. Then specific ads, they're a bit more expensive, but these are specific ads, right? So you only kind of mention yourself, there's no one else there, and people follow you for that specific post, right? In the specific post, you kind of mention your skill, and again, it converts specific people that are interested in it. So in a personal brand, especially with being able to make sales from your personal brand, likes do not mean everything. Account reached means everything. So what do I mean with that? Let's say you have like um, a profile that is structured in a particular way with particular posts that can convert certain followers. That means it's very, very optimized for every single person that lands on that page. So what I mean is, let's say you go to a certain Instagram page. I don't really have like a lot of examples in front of me right now, but you land on a page and then the amount of like likes they have per post is just a little bit low, like personal brands. And the type of posts they post, like for example, about their family, about their business, about their clients, those are very, very good. And they're structured in a certain way with very good copy. So they don't need like hundreds of posts. All they do is they grow organically through these shoutouts, right? So they convert a very specific group of people. They see a very specific select group of content. And then from there, they basically convert a selective group of people. You only need like 4 or 5 sales of 5K to be able to make 20 to 30K a month, right? So this is like what a lot of coaches do, just an FYI. But there's also other guys, like for example, Cheetah and other people that, long story short, they want to grow, right? They also want to grow their own page organically. That means that they need kind of a combination of both, right? So they do specific ads if they have the budget because they're more expensive. I can, for example, run in comparison to specific ads, I could run one post on wealth, but I could, for example, run 5 to 10 posts on Millionaire Mentor, right? So it's always a question of like, what's worth to you more? Do I think I can get the same amount of sales of 10 posts on Millionaire Mentor or one post on wealth? You kind of have to like outweigh it for yourself and also what you want in the long term, right? It's always important to remember what you want for yourself. What's your end goal with these shoutouts, right? Not the short-term goal. Short-term goal is never the solution, especially not when you're building a brand. If you're looking to, make a quick cash and cash in and cash out with a particular business model, go ahead, right? But in my opinion, it's very, very stupid, especially for the long term, because you want to build your name, you want to build your brand, and you want to position it that way. So then indeed you can become an industry leader in a particular area, like for example, Chi. So as you can see, this reel that they recently did here, 148K views, super, super great, but it's a very generic reel, right? So what they do is they grab this clip from a different team page or from the explore page, which already went viral. They stick it in there. This is literally a Canva template, which I made for you. Canva is completely for free, by the way. It's a video and photo editing software. It's completely zero, and you can make content in there completely for free. So in the last weekly call that I uploaded, I actually shared how to make these type of posts. So I'm quickly gonna find the Canva template here for you. Uh, 1 second, 1 second. Canva template. Yeah, here we go. So in the community, you will find this template. And this particular template will show you this. And I already showed in like one of the previous weekly calls how to make this content. All you do is you go to this template, you basically type in the caption at the top, right? So the hook, for example, of the video, which in case is watch what happens when you work with a mentor. Then your question could be, cool, how can I basically spin this, right? Or you can just copy paste it. It's really, really up to you. But a lot of people do, unfortunately, copy paste and they just label it as inspiration. So, yeah, for example, this one, 100% AI generated. What you can basically do is you can try to, it's a very cool trick. You can basically go to the top comment. Let's say it's a super, super viral post. You can go to the top comment and see what type of text they typed. For example, oh, it's such a BS post or whatever they say. And you can literally grab that and you can literally just put it in here at the top. It's very easy, but it's a very effective way to basically make this. I shared the again this template in the community. How you copy it is by going to the top left, file, make a copy. That's all you need to do. And every single time you make a new video, you either take out the previous one or you basically make a copy, right? Very simple. And then here you put the name of your page, for example, Billionaire Director. Here you put your username. There you put your logo, right? You just drag it in here. And then every single time you have a video that you want to post, for example, let's say we find a video right now, we go to the explore page. This explore page is something you can also train to show you particular content. So how you can train this is by literally just engaging with a specific set of content, right? So what you want to do is you want to scroll, you want to like, you want to save, you want to comment, right? You want to engage with this content. And as you do this, your explore page will change so quickly. For example, what's also very funny is if you, for example, take a look at your friend's explore page and it's filled with big booty women, you know that they consumed a lot of content like that, right? It's just proof because the algorithm just shows you more of what you've already consumed. Why? Because they want to keep you on the platform, right? That's also the main end goal of Instagram and all these platforms that you really, really want to keep in mind. So let's see. This one, for example. Let's see. No idea what happened there. No, so I basically like scroll over these and these are like very viral generic reels. For example, this one, right? Well, let's say you have a car page, right? Then what you can do is you can basically grab this post. You can go to Instagram downloader, Snap Insta, for example, copy it in here, press download, download video, save it to your desktop. Then all I do is I go back to Canva, take the video, drag it in here, wait for it to load. And then what I do is I just click on it. It pops up in here. Just wait for it to load on the left so the quality is good. You just drag it in here so it fits. You basically double click on the text. You go back to the post. You go to the best comment, right? So for example, so we're not going to talk about how bro opened the door himself. And then what you can do is you can turn it into a question. And these are things you can test, right? You can, for example, test out a question. You can test out something controversial. I don't know, video of car drifting, fat man not breaking door. I don't know, something like that. You know, you have to give a spin off of it. I'm not good at thinking of controversial ones off the top of my head. I'm not a controversial guy. So use ChatGPT for it. And all you do is you literally just pop it in here. You download this by pressing share, download, MP4 video, download, and you have a video. Then all you want to do is you want to use this template. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that all the videos you're shown here are all videos that have to do with your niche, right? Or some sort of videos that have to do with your niche. I know, for example, this one, it got 2 million likes in 6 days. And the guy, well, he does have a decent amount of followers, which is unfortunate. So we use a VRSA system, right? This system is virality, recency, style, and account. How big the account is, the virality, right? The numbers. So the numbers versus the views, the likes versus the views, sorry. So you have like a conversion percentage between it. Then the R, which is recency, how recent it actually is. So within the last 14 days, that's ideally what you want to strive for. But the thumb of rule is the more recent it is, the more viral it can go. Why? Because it's more unique. The more people post this content on a platform, the more people see it again and again and again and again and again, right? By reposting it. And then it becomes a special. So less people consume it. Then the style, right? Does the style fit? Style also means the topic of the content. If let's say this is a guy nearly jumping to death and I have a page about motivation, I'm not 100% sure if I would post this. So you get the point. Then the last one is account. What's the size of the account that actually posted this content? Thumb of rule here, the smaller the account, the better the content is. Why? Because content first gets pushed to the followers and then to new people, not the other way around. So that means that technically he already has 315,000 viewers, right? If every single follower views his content in comparison to someone with 1,000 followers. So what's the definition of virality? Virality means new people that it reached, right? That's virality. The amount of new people that something, a content piece, for example, reached. It could also be an advertisement. It can also be a book. It could also be whatever, right? But the point is new people, not existing people. So, yeah, any questions about this? Looks good. Awesome.
Nope, pretty clear. Hey Alex, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Glad to have you here.
Good turn, man. Good turn.
How are you? How's the page?
Yeah, doing alright. I mean, I had some videos already uploaded, so I'm getting around like 50 to 75 people in my story. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and making the engaged story as well, like like a poll. Yeah, you can choose like one and two, and yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
doing good. I'm getting 10 to 15 reactions now. So yeah,
Nice, man.
it's going alright.
Nice, nice, nice. That's glad to hear. I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, it's just a matter of time for you as well to just blow up completely and go sky high with hundreds of thousands of followers because you're in this, right? Like, what I also notice in like coaching and specifically Instagram is that it's always people that are kind of like half in, half out, right? So you have some people who are 100% in, who basically like go for it, who don't have a doubt in their mind that they will quit, right? Because they keep trying things. You also have the people who kind of like need a little push, but you also have the people who are like very skeptical and they need a big push, right? So those are, in my opinion, the three people. And Kevin, you're the first one. So you're the person who monetizes his passion, right? So you're already doing something about something you love. And it's just a matter
Mm-hmm.
of time before you
Yeah,
get used
100%.
to it so much and build that skill up to the skill point level you need, right? Because the thing is, to build up a skill, you need other skills too. And this is something especially coaches and other people online don't talk about, is that when you build up a new skill, there are certain other skills which you need to develop and automatically develop as well. For example, with this, right, with content and looking at things and analyzing numbers and stuff like that, what's the skill? Pattern recognition, right? Analysis, your analytical ability. These are skills that people typically don't really talk about and that you also need to develop. So for some people, it's harder for them to comprehend numbers and, attaching one plus another. Oh, I saw that there, so that means this, right? Blah, 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 blah. But you build this up over experience. And that's why some people go really, really fast with a new skill and some people go less fast because of the other skills that also need to be leveled up. Some people already have all these other skills leveled up to like 100 points, right? You can gamify this whole concept, but you also have people who have it at 20, right? Which means it's going to be harder to develop a completely new skill because they feel the other skills are lacking as well, which means that it's holding them back more, right? It's like a bigger barrier for some than for the others. And that's when, you know, the typical route comes with easy versus hard, right? The path of a path of least resistance or the path of most resistance. And that's where community plays a really big role, right? Helping people towards the hard resistance path and actually not looking at it as a hard resistance path, but a path that you chose to walk on because you want to be there. Instead of being like, oh, I'm going to do five cold showers a day and blah, 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 blah. No, you just choose to be there. And that's it. There's no question about motivation anymore. And that's when everything just becomes so much more easy and less complicated, where you stop thinking with your fucking mind and just start doing. And it's very easy to say, oh, for some people it works. Why not for me? The victim mentality. But at the end of the day, all that was different is that you didn't have the level of skills that were required in different areas too, that you would have needed to build up this one skill that you're lacking right now. And all you're feeling is just this pressure that you feel is so hard to break. It's the resistance, right? So ideally, what you want to do if you feel this way, right? If you're, for example, a non-technical person, non-analytical person, you have the whole shebang. You want to make it as easy as possible for yourself in other areas. Think of, for example, your niche, right? Don't go into the first page with your niche that is only based on money. Start your first page about something you absolutely love that you consume every single day. Very easy way to find that is literally by going to your search history, right? I'm not going to do that right now because you'll see big booty bitches. But you can literally see in your history of YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or your explore page right now, what you like the most, what you consume the most. Just start a freaking page in that area, right? You're consuming it either way. Might as well just fucking monetize it and become a producer. So that's an easy way. Then the other one is stress and recovery, right? What is the fundamentals of human life? Stress, recovery. But some people start out with -10 recovery at the beginning of the day, so they need more points. And some people start out with 100 points of stress at the beginning of the day, right? But if you can only fill up to 100 points, you eventually go into the negative, which is going to be fucked. So there's always a balance between these things, right? And it's the same thing with hardship and that feeling of pressure. Eventually, what you want to do is you want to lower certain stress variables in your life that makes it less anxiety and fearful to do something like building up those other skills. Think of decreasing the amount of cold showers you do. Think of not following that extremely strict diet that you've been doing for such a long time, right? You do want to keep things in place that overall make you feel healthy, that obviously keep your relationship up to a standard, but you don't want to be a perfectionist, especially not when you're building a new skill. And that's something that unfortunately I see with a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs. They start a million different things at the same time. They feel resistance in every single area because they realize, holy shit, this one skill, I need 5 different skills and they're all at level 1. And now I need to level up 5 things with one route I choose. And I need to do that 5 times because I chose 5 different routes as well. 5 times 5, 25 things I need to level up at the same time. Becomes overwhelming and then it crashes, right? So this is really, really good, like last 20 minutes I've been talking that you can refer back to when you're in hard times. And I really, really want you to do that. So yeah, enough talking. Any questions?
You showed us the generic videos, and so you use them for, like you said, for a specific niche. So the guy who was jumping kind of off a cliff, you would use it for a motivational page, or you wouldn't? Like this
I
one,
I
yeah,
wouldn't. No,
yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't. You can use it to go viral. It's like a nearly 99% chance to go viral. But you also want to look at like the video itself, right? So this is probably someone from India, right? And the content that you see will attract the people that made it as well. If let's say someone, a typical American is talking about finance advice, right? With like a very American accent, it will attract other Americans. There's a very slim chance that it will attract Indians. So this is something you do want to keep in mind with building up like a quality audience. So when you do use stuff like this, use it once, right? In like 100 posts, for example. But for example, this one, 4.6 million likes, I used this post. I told my content creator, oh shit, I think this could really work. And I posted it on Billionaire Director. I'll quickly check here. 1 second. And I think it got like 50K views. Not 100% sure. Oops. So, for example, what we've seen with this page is that all the technical stuff, right? For example, this with like an engineer's design of intersections that require no traffic lights, like this stuff is basically what the hell is this comment? Let's make cocaine. Nice. So for example, this one, right? This post, and then it got like 9.6 million views, as you can see. If I scroll down a bit and I find a different one, it got, where is it? It was something similar to a similar, here, 7.7 million views, and the other one 9 million views. Whoever invented the earthquake bed is a genius, right? So what I've realized through these two posts is that more like technical and more mechanical content is something that I can experiment with for my page too, right? But the post I was referring to in the past is basically this one, 60K, right? 60K views, and the other one had a lot more. But it obviously also had to do with like the text in itself. I could also have made it controversial. But yeah, that's the whole point of like content. You want to basically test it out, but you always want to try and find some guidelines for yourself. For example, emotional, entertaining, controversial, educational, right? So these like main underlying kind of like topics are like the second layer of your content choice. So first is like the topic of your page, right? What do you post? Then controversial, emotional, entertainment, educational, for example, debatable, shareable, likable, etc. And then you choose the content based on VRSA. So it's like 3 layers that you go through before you choose what you want to post. And then at the beginning, you just start doing a bunch of research. So all I do, let's say I do research, I would go to a few specific pages. I would go on TikTok. I would go here on the explore page, and I would just start scrolling a bit. And then if I see a piece of content with a good amount of likes, I save it, for example. This is a podcast, so I already know that I'm not going to post that. I need like original videos. For example, this one, completely clean videos that I can just take and put together, basically. This one.
Alex, I have this question for you.
Yeah, sure.
So, what do you think if it's like you're analyzing people and you're looking at accounts, you see this guy having like 50,000 followers and he's getting like really good likes and views on his like videos.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say he gets on average like 1,000 plus likes, and then some posts does better, like 10K plus. What does
Mm-hmm.
it mean like about like the guy, because he's still like really small?
That he gets, I don't really understand the question, that he gets like 10K likes on one and then 1K likes on the other.
Yeah, for example, so
You have
1K
the
and then
username?
a video. Oh no, I don't have a specific username. I just saw it like on like a couple pages, but not a specific one. Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, it doesn't really mean anything. It's just that you always want to take into consideration what's the specific person's page at, right? Where are they at? For example, how many followers do they have? What content do they post? Is the content typically really performing or not? What's the topic of the content that's better performing or not? So you basically analyze, and the more inputs you have over time with this, the more reps you put in, the more you can see pattern recognition and see, oh shit, what Alex did there, that made so much sense when he said that in that weekly call. I've seen that there. So now 1 + 1 is 5 instead of 2.
All right, look, I sent you, yeah, on the chat.
Okay, cool. Let me quickly check.
Some pages that I've written down. So yeah.
Let's see. Okay, 20K, 64 posts. It's not a lot for 20K followers, so that's pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
So he does like some short quotes and yeah, like more like
Yeah,
landscape
you always
and
want to analyze like the best and the worst.
yeah.
That's something you want to take a look at. Like the worst videos, what's the lowest amount of
Yeah.
likes that you see here? So let's say you see like 20K likes. For example, this one is 18K likes. What you want to do, the more you scroll down, the more you will see like less performing content too. But you want to find one that's below 18K. Let's see. Well, let's stick to the top one. For example, you basically save it as lowest performing, and then you can also scroll all the way down and find one that has a ton of views, this one, and also a recent one. And you can basically like analyze it together. What's the topic of this content? Did he make the content actually himself? Also the video? Did he get the video from somewhere? You want to analyze everything. You want to think, what's the source? Where did he make this? How did he export the video? What's the likelihood of him making this content in CapCut or in Premiere Pro or this platform or this platform? And I think for this page, it was a combination of the quality of this clip, the formatting of it being like a movie style type of thing, and then maybe also the audio. Right now, I can't really hear the audio, so I couldn't tell you, but that's something you can also use.
Yeah, it's like kind of like cinematic and yeah, like
Exactly.
a short quote and like
Yeah.
and the video keeps moving as well. Like every like 2 to 3 seconds, you see like, oh, the video is moving, so keeping them attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So these are things you just want to kind of look out for, but I think it also has to do with like where he gets the videos from, how he records them, you know, because it's a lot of the same videos. But then it kind of seems like he just downloaded one big movie and just made like a whole bunch of clips.
Yeah, like that one's really popular. I've seen like
Yeah.
wait, that one's like really popular. It's been blowing up. Okay, go to this guy's account, and he blew up recently. Like I've been following since like 35K, and he's now on like what 206,000. Wait, I think I wrote it wrong. Sarah. Yes. With CKXS. Yeah.
Yeah, so that means that this is a big trend that a lot of people are doing right now, where they take
Yeah.
very high quality clips, they put it in this cinematic style, and this is literally what I would also do if I were you. I would save all the audios of all of these guys. Like where was the original audio? Where is it from? Um, and you want to save all of those. What you want to do is have like the movie display type of content. Try and analyze where did they get these clips from. And yeah, basically copy paste all the best quotes. It's the most simplest approach,
Yeah.
but by doing this, you'll eventually like have a far better understanding of like how they
Yes.
do it, where
Yeah.
they get it from, etc.
I see he's using like a lot of like popular clips and then like using like a famous quote or something, and then
Yeah.
yeah, it blows up. Like it's really insane.
Yeah, but it's also a little bit of creativity, right? For example, this. Let's say you found this clip on Twitter or on TikTok or on YouTube. You have to actually come up with this idea yourself as well in your brain that you can put this quote towards it, right? Because this could even be like a YouTube video where someone shows Interstellar Minecraft, right? So if I go back to the explore page, let me quickly see if I can still find the content. We just consumed like a piece of content that you can turn into the one with the singer. Did you guys see that? With Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Let's see. There was this fan that basically like ran up to him. Oh well, you can watch back the video as well, the video replay. But long story short, what you can do is you can basically analyze the video. Let's say we do this one. What's the lesson behind this, right? Like, what's the real lesson behind this? What's the emotion behind it, right? Sometimes you have to face your fears. Like, it's always a question of like, how can you make this motivational? Let's say, for example, or what's the idea behind this? How can you make this X, Y, and Z motivational, controversial, whatever topic you want to basically strive for? Controversial is going to be easy, but same with this. Right? So basically, what is the idea, the emotion behind this content, right? So that's something you kind of want to think about, especially when you do those captions. But yeah, this is what I would do if I were you, Kevin. Yeah, yeah. But coming back to battery, because we went off completely sidetrack. We started out with showing your face and being more comfortable with starting. So maybe you want to share some takeaways and some insights that really worked for you in your journey.
Okay, I can try to share my experience building this specific page.
I can
And
still hear you, by the way. I'm quickly going to grab some water.
yeah, of course. So I've started building this page in
Amazing page.
January. What? Somebody said something. Oh, okay. So I've started building this page like 40 days ago, and I've gained 43,000 followers. So that's awesome because I used signature series method. It's where you say day 1, day 2, day 3, and you do some sort of a challenge. I've seen people do ice baths. I've seen people bench pressing rice. You have to choose the niche that excites you the most and is uh, in if you choose the right niche. For example, if you do ice baths, you can easily get sponsorships from ice bath makers, and so it's a fun little thing I've used to blow up my page by deadlifting potatoes. So yeah, it worked really well, but I can also share the downside of this type of content. I chose not that serious type of challenge. I'm not some crazy good deadlifter who could lift like 200 kilos. So a bunch of kids started following me. So what I've learned from this, that followers are not everything. And and yeah, my audience is like 13, 16-year-olds. Also, yeah, I have people like 20, from 20 to 30-year-olds, but the majority is kids. And yeah, it's good to have kids because they comment stupid stuff that makes it blow up and it helps the algorithm. So that's a good part. But the bad part maybe is, yeah, that it's kids and they don't really care about anything else. And I want to build this into a bigger thing. I've also had this meme page that I decided to turn into a theme page instead of a meme page, and it would be like an extension of this page, like a bigger project. So yeah, I'm posting on there too right now.
What's the
I don't
name?
know. The Daily Grow. I'm not sure if I'm following myself though. The meme page was Bizarre Bands, but right now, yeah, I've just changed the
You're not
name.
even following me. Come on now, what is this?
Oh, sorry.
The
Sorry.
Daily Grow. Let's see. This
Yeah,
one.
this one, yeah. I just started posting the
Oh yeah,
themes and
visuals.
things here just recently.
Great stuff, great stuff. Yeah, this is a very good example, right? Like you see that if this is such a good lesson too, because a lot of people who start theme pages, they forget a big thing, which is understanding their audience, right? Because you can see the difference, right? This is the audience, right? 40K likes, 60K, 30K, 400K, and then boom, 200 likes, 40 likes, 36 likes, 14K. That's a pretty major difference, guys. So this is something that you do want to kind of keep in mind, especially when you start your theme pages. Followers isn't everything. Who's the audience? What's your goal? And what are you passionate about? What could you do for $0 your whole life long? Those are the questions you should answer for yourself. And those topics you want to start your page around.
Yeah, at first, yeah, I started with memes because they blow up. And yeah, there's a big lesson I've learned from this. We always want something quick, and quick isn't good because I blew up my meme page very quickly. I blew up my personal brand extremely quickly, but
Do
the
you want my
quality
do you want
of
my
the
advice
audience,
for this
yeah,
Patri? I would switch it back ASAP.
really?
Yeah, reason being is because this content is a shiny object syndrome that you just shifted to. you saw these visual trends, the trend of like visuals, and you saw the pages that are blowing up with visuals, completely blowing up, right? And you resonated that with like a quality audience. But you have to remember that if this happens, this level of engagement, there's literally one post in these, let's see, 12 posts that got 400K views, and everything is above 1 million. This is in fucking insane. You have to remember that this
Gold
page, big one. Oh, Jesus. Big one. This page was a meme page, and it was sold to Warner Music for $85 million. This was a theme page, a meme page, guys. $85 million. This page. And it started out
How
as a
many
meme page.
followers? How many
Sorry?
followers did that page have?
I
That one?
am not 100% sure at the time. Let's see. Hey, guess what? Check this out. Let's close all the ads. Read this part. This last part. I started posting memes on Instagram and the account grew quickly to 150K followers. Back then, it was impossible to predict that this would become a full-fledged business. AKA, he started fucking on something he was passionate about, and then it turned into a business by accident. But now you guys are learning how to build the business around your passion, but you're already starting it about your passion. So right now I think it has like 16 million followers, but it should have had like way less when it started, when it sold. Yeah, 16 million. So why Warner Music actually bought this account was because obviously they promoted their own artists, right? But they saw the amount of traffic that this was getting. 16 million fucking people. 16 million, right? 8 million more, and it's fucking the whole Netherlands that watches this content. That's pretty political influence, if you ask me. So you can see, yeah, man, you can see the amount of fucking views that this account gets. You know, million, 8 million. It's like if you count up all these views on a monthly basis, it's like 100 million plus. 100 million people, right? But these artists that they have, they can just promote them in like a cool way like this, tag them in the content, and then they will get so much popularity, right? But they sign insane deals with artists, right? And then what happens is that the artists get promised a certain, you know, the record label, Warner Music, basically scales them up, right? Helps them with the music, helps them with the promotion, the marketing. So what they do is they post them on the networks, right? So I helped scale up an artist as well a while ago, was a rapper, his name is Xaro. We scaled him to 125K Spotify streams, and I think he got to 250K streams on Spotify per month. And that equals to around 5 to 15K a month from revenue from Spotify. So it's pretty good. And we also got his songs to hit like millions of streams. So it's really, really cool. But long story short, what we did was we literally did shoutouts on Instagram, but then through YouTube channels. That's how artists do it. It's literally the same name of the game, but they basically do it through YouTube channels. So they buy a sort of video slot on a popular YouTube channel like this, right? But then this is a YouTube channel, and then they get promoted, and then it turns into streams, and it turns into listeners, followers, Instagram followers, fame, and success. So basically, battery, switch it back ASAP after the call. Quit the visual shit. It's a shiny object you're following right now. Delete all the visual stuff that you've been posting. Everything. Archive the post, delete the reels, or move them to archive if you can, and start posting at least 2 memes a day, and start posting 5 memes a day, and maybe even 8, up to a certain point. That's what I would recommend you do. And then as you grow, when you hit 500K followers, that's the moment when you're going to incorporate styles like this. This style. And then your audience becomes more qualitative. Make sense?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if if memes are my passion, because it's
Fair
brain
enough.
frying content. I just hate it.
What's the country percentage?
What?
The percentage of the followers of the country where they're from.
UK based, because I was posting memes about England, just England
How
stuff.
much percent? Could you check it?
Yeah, sure. I'll check it out. It's like
Sorry, you got muted.
okay. Wait a bit. 46% is England.
UK.
UK, United
Interesting.
States 19, Australia 7.2.
And what's the age and gender?
Age 28% 18 to 24, 31% 25 to 34, and 17% from 35 to 44, and gender 72% men, 27% women.
Cool. Cool. Interesting. And you basically get the memes just from the explore page.
Yes, I do.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good. Then yeah, I'll contact you about the page. I may have some other ideas we can discuss off the call.
Okay.
And besides that, just focus on your passion, right? It's so good that you also said like, I want to focus on my passion. You can't take that away from people, and that's something you also want to keep in mind for yourself. Followers ain't everything, guys. It really isn't. There's people that have 10K followers that actually send messages to people that are very good at messaging that literally make a shit ton of sales. So what this is called are burner accounts, right? So you can buy Instagram pages on this website, accounts-market.com. You can say Instagram, you can buy, for example, a burner account for like 10K followers for like $100, $10, $50. You'll have to kind of find a few good deals. And then literally what you can do is you could turn it into a personal brand. You could post like 2 pictures of yourself, 1 carousel of what you do, then another picture of yourself explaining what you do, hide the likes and the comments on all the posts, or only the likes, for example. And then you can literally just start doing outreach and make a couple of highlights on your account that show the results of what you've been able to get. This is literally how you can affiliate for someone completely from zero. And you can start learning messaging really, really good, like how to actually like get people in your DM, how to attract people to your brand, and how to make a converting brand. So that when people land on your page, it's trustworthy, everything checks out, results are insane, they want to give you a follow, and they want to talk to you, right? So then the skill that you're going to be leveraging is messaging. So along this journey, you're going to want to find out what's like your main skill. Is it content? Is it sales? Is it marketing? Is it, what is it? Funnels? And you want to double down on that skill. I mean, I was never going to know that I was going to run ads for the biggest Airbnb coach on Instagram. Never. I would have never imagined it. I mean, years ago, when I started out, this was the page I looked up to. Right now, you can actually check as well. He follows me. That's pretty sick. Wealth, the biggest fucking page from my perspective at the time that, I looked up to when I was younger, when I was a kid. When I started this 8 years ago, this page was the page I looked up to. So again, followers ain't shit, status ain't shit, passion is everything, and adding value is everything. Those are the only things you want to keep in mind. And long-term perspective, long-term ideas. Because as I said with shoutouts, you could go a single like promotion route, but you can also go group route. If let's say you don't have like tens of thousands to spend right now, then the group route would be better. Plus, if you want to build like a larger audience for the future, that's more wider spread, which is going to be easier for you to retain people in the future, then yeah, you can do that. It's all choices. It's like weighing the pros and cons, but being aware of both routes that you choose for. Same with your theme pages, right? Let's say you're kind of like in between routes. Do I scale this meme page or do I do this, right? Like you're kind of in between routes. So yeah, that's pretty much kind of my thought process with all of this.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I was just thinking, or the reason why I changed that page to the more like motivational stuff, because I want to build like a separate brand, just so I, I don't know how to explain. I'm
What
gonna
was the
run
former like username?
bizarre bands.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah,
And
honestly, I would just start a new page then, or buy one.
really,
Yeah, completely from scratch, make the content super quality. It's going to be a challenge, right? That's why your really wasn't really, but it was really. So, yeah, start a new page, focus on video content only, and get really good at it. Yeah.
maybe I should. Yeah, I don't know. But I've seen people like changing the name and stuff, and then you like have a brand page, where you showcase, for example, only results.
Yeah,
And
that's what I meant. So that you can buy like an account on this website of 10K followers, 100K followers for very, very cheap, maybe $10 to $200, and you can indeed like convert it right to like a personal brand or indeed only show results for credibility. So people land on your page and they can basically check you out with everything.
yeah.
Let's see, let's take a look at your growth.
On this page, it has slowed down completely. That's why I turned it into a completely different,
Oh, is your friend coming to the call as well?
He should. He's probably still sleeping, and I don't like that because I've told him that he has to show up. Yeah.
And for everyone that doesn't know, maybe you want to share who he is already, Patri.
Yeah, so there's this guy who has gained like 120,000 followers on his personal brand where he was lifting 1 gram of rice for every follower. And he blew up like in 10 days. Like on the 10th day, his video started getting like 5 million views. And yeah, it was like overnight success. He gained that 100,000 followers in like 3 days, and now it's like kind of flopping because he cannot lift anymore. You know,
What's his name
hit
again?
Gunwu bench.
Or did you finally get a hold of him, like from last time? You actually texted the guy?
Yeah, we've talked.
Oh, nice.
Um, yeah,
Yeah, he got
yes.
like a partnership with Gymshark, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I saw that.
yeah.
Yeah, but this is the whole thing. It's all about long-term perspective. Same thing with what he's doing right now with like donating it, right? That's the shit you want to do. You want to basically like think about like how can you contribute through what you already did before. Everyone knows it's a joke, but then um yeah, it you kind of want to convert it. And I'm very curious what the percentage of his audience is as well in terms of like kids or not, if he has like a large percentage or not. Because what it could also have to do, Patry, is with appearance, right, of the person. If let's say a very old person does the exact same thing as what you did, what will happen, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting for sure. I know that he gets around 20, no, like 15,000 views on his stories, so that's good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Interesting.
That's a great call for me, guys. I need to jump off. Thanks, Alex.
No worries, man. Speak to you soon. Have a good one.
Good.
Yo, take care. Bye.
Bye.
Let's see, Rise from the journey. Yeah, exactly. Like you just made a quick landing page. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious to spit him all out, to basically like ask him deep questions, the same as I did with you, Patrick. Kind of feel him out with where he wants to go with his brand. Seems interesting where he wants to go.
Yeah, I've talked to him about it too, so he just wants to like keep helping people solve the hunger problem.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
obviously, you need to understand a person deeper to really know them.
yeah. What could even be cool is like him thinking of like different concepts of rice as well and like how he can contribute to it. By, for example, going on like a journey where he makes like more fitness content. You could even become a YouTuber with this if he wants to. Where he makes like a bit of fitness content, he just starts benching, and in every video he just lifts the rice at the beginning of the video or mid of the video, and then he covers it up with like other gym content. And then what he does is he can also make videos about him going to Japan or going here or going there to eat the best rice or to do this with rice or that with rice. Like he can make it all about rice if he wants to, or he can contribute a bit more through different variants of rice or becoming more like educational through his content as well. That X, Y, and Z rice is X, Y, and Z. So you can kind of fill up the gap between his content and slowly transition and educate his audience more with uh the same topic but different variants.
Yeah. But yeah, this challenge is it's a trend. It's a crazy one because
Yeah,
it really makes you blow up. You get the followers, but then the reality gets to you, and yeah, you have to think quick.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it just shows like how easy it actually is to gain followers. But quality followers is the name of the game. And like also the concept you have, you want to kind of be sketching it out on the whiteboard, right? Like putting it all visually in place. First 90 days, this, the next 90 days, this, the next 90 days, this, etc. And yeah, experiment. Like your brand up to like 1 million followers is a complete experiment. Every single page. Same with my page right now, Billionaire Director. Constant experiment. Eventually, when you hit like 1 million, that's the moment when everything becomes like slow because you can hit a certain amount of engagement every single time. You've experimented it enough to know like your top 3 concepts that you maybe think were your top 3 before, but then the top 3 changes every single time. And yeah, it's just all an experiment. And then as you go into the 1 million, different things become more important. And then, you know, it becomes more of a business.
Yeah. There's also this guy, Jesse Rayford, I guess his name was. He
Mm-hmm.
gained like 700,000 followers. Jesse without I. Uh, just wait, I should type it in the chat somehow. Oh, wait. Yeah, I've put it in the chat of this Zoom.
Let's see.
Whoa, this guy has already lost 100,000 followers. That's insane.
Let's see. Make content academy for free / about. There we go. Like, this is so easy you can monetize your accounts as well as
Yeah,
you go.
but like I've jumped on his course just to see what's up, and it's like I was scared because I was very excited about this journey, like because I've also gained a lot of following, but he finds it super hard to monetize. Like he just got a brand deal with a ice bath company, and that helped a lot. Like it was like 6-figure deal,
Mhm.
but the problem with him trying to build his course, there's like 3 people, and it's really bad.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn. Do you have
Like,
contact with him?
yeah. I've joined his course just to see what's up, and I've even tried him to help him. It's just a matter of skill because he's never been a consultant or anything. So I
Damn.
see that, like,
This is such a good example of like difference between business and creators. There's actually this guy right now. What's his name again? Something something. Eddie Crumble. Eddie something. Eddie this one. Eddie
oh,
Cumberbatch.
this one's the beast.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But this guy basically teaches guys about growth operating, right? So basically what he does is he basically teaches people how they can reach out to people like Jesse and how they could sell a package to Jesse for a percentage deal, right? For like a revenue split, for example, 25% of his business revenue plus a sort of amount of money, right, per month that Jesse pays them, to help him build a community, to help him set up the funnels, the backend, the systems, everything. So Jesse can just purely make content. And then what they can do is they can give some, um, uh, how do you say that? They can give some tips, or sorry, they could give some templates for Jesse to make us videos. So they could convert people. But yeah, it's really freaking crazy.
Yeah, I never stumble upon this side of Instagram because you either see theme pages with a lot of followers monetizing from promotions and stuff, then
Yeah.
you have personal brands that have like 10K followers, but they monetize super well because it's very niche and the audience is high quality. And then there's this. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No, it really is. Really is. And what's interesting, especially for people like Jesse, is that they indeed partner up with someone who basically does it all for them. But no, 100%, 100%. And this is kind of like the same thing what I was saying to you before, Patry. You want to focus by doing this, you're experimenting and you're focusing on everything and anything. And what you want to do is you want to experiment and you want to be open to experimenting, right? So you always want to be open for testing different things out, like for example, in the school community or other practices, because this shit isn't going to convert. This is what he's doing here. It's not going to convert. When you sell, you always want to be diving deep into the emotion of people. If I were to sell you guys on my program right now, what I would start telling you about is how we're all different, right? How, for example, what we do is we have 4 stages, right? First stage, black sheep, right? This is something that I've recently done as a personal brand workshop, with the operations manager of, I think it was an 8-figure company. He was the COO of the whole company. He basically ran it, right? He is a very smart guy and he's done a lot of different things. And me and him are going to basically start like a personal brand workshop type of thingy. And we tested it out on myself first. So long story short, we came up with a conclusion for me. The 4 principles that my followers and audience and customers have is this. First principle, black sheep, right? So we go right when everyone goes left. We choose a different route. We're the misfits. We're the people who try different things, who try to go our own route. We never felt the recognition we felt we deserved. When we shared stuff with people in the past, we never got the recognition we felt we deserved for it. And thus far, we blamed them. We blamed ourselves. We doubted ourselves if it's actually valuable what we're saying, right? Because we didn't get the recognition. Or we blame them. It's all their fault. They don't understand me. They don't this, they don't that, right? Second stage is consumer to producer, right? By not feeling understood and by not feeling like recognized for the things we do and being a misfit, instead of embracing it, what we do is we fill that emotional gap with consumption in any way, shape, or form. Food, entertainment, going to the gym obsessively, eating a lot, staying up very late, smoking, drinking, whatever, right? But also through social media consumption, scrolling hours and hours and hours on end mindlessly. So we want to turn it into production, right? So consumer to producer. Then in terms of like the third stage, it's about providing turning that into production for example, people like your family, right? And people around you. So that's something that everyone with those four principles wants to do in the third phase. Then what they want to do in terms of the third phase as well is by providing or by basically starting something and being different and starting something for themselves, turning it from consuming into producing. In that third phase, they basically want to provide for people around them, right? Loved ones, as I said, and for themselves as well. But they want to build something so they can also feel the recognition. Fourth phase is full potential. By doing all those three steps, they reach the full potential that they feel they have deep down inside, but is untapped. Now the question to you guys is, how well did that resonate with you? And probably 9 out of 10 people here are going to feel some way, shape, or form. Yeah, it resonates. And that's exactly how you sell. You don't sell the cool gadgets and the guarantees. Guarantees and the gadgets and how it all structures is second phase. First phase is this: resonating people, understanding them, caring for them, providing some simple solutions for them. And then all you do is present the offer. And the offer is always the outcome of that first part of feeling that, you know, I understand you, I know where you're coming from, and I can be the person who can help you fill the gap that you feel you have. So turning from consuming into producing, what we're going to do is replace the 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours you scroll every single day into monetizing, into starting something, into posting something you're passionate about, so that you can build your own community, feel more fulfillment, and then be able to monetize it through this and these ways. So you can provide for your family, you can provide for your loved ones, but also yourself. And by doing so, discover more of your full potential. Not reach it, because in my opinion, you'll never reach it, but discover more about it.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. And by doing so, we all walk right when everyone goes left, right? It's super scary, but I can tell so many different stories where I was a misfit. I mean, I'm half Irish, half Dutch, but I live in the Netherlands. Born and raised 2 languages. Never felt Dutch, never felt fully Irish. Born in a laboratorium, right? The story I told you guys last time, where my dad and mom couldn't get kids. So I was like placed into a box in the fridge and then put back into my mom. And long story short, I wasn't born the normal way, right? So up till 2 months ago, I always felt different. I didn't like that story, right? Because I've been walking around my whole life feeling different than other people. It's just one story that has so much more power to it. And for other people, it could be the same in anything, in who they are, in whatever, right? Maybe for you, Patrick, even, and this could be a little bit confrontational, that I saw a comment on the post that someone said, "What is bro's gender?" Right? That could be something that, you know, it could hit you.
Yeah, but I don't tell anyone because it boosts the algorithm again.
Yeah, right. But still, it could be something that you maybe dislike, or maybe that people have made fun of you about for years, right? It could be like a pain. And that's something that then you can share, right, as a story to back up these 4 principles. So this is sales. Sales is sharing your own experience, sharing your own stories through a principled way, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then being able to resonate with those people, and then providing the hows and the whats and stuff like that to make it more understandable.
Yeah, and it really needs to go into the content as much as possible, because you can have it in your head and you post one thing and people don't understand what you want to say. That's also a problem.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm not sure if anyone has any questions, but if not, then oh, I think maybe I'm not sure if Daniel is your friend, but what's Gunwood Bench's name?
I don't know, but he said that he woke up and he will join very soon. And I'm
Okay. Well, he has 3 minutes, otherwise we're gonna end the call
yeah.
because everyone is tired.
Hello.
So yeah, Alex. Oh,
What's up, Daniel?
hey, what's up, Dale?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, good.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just a little bit late. Sorry for joining a little late.
Yeah, no worries, man. We had a really, really good call. I would just recommend watching it back because I'm completely fried.
Oh, good. Yeah,
So yeah,
it's pretty early for me, so yeah, sorry, I missed the call.
no worries, man. No worries at all. Kevin, what do you want to ask?
Oh no, it was not was not something specifically. It was just about you,
Yeah, shoot, man.
like about Jim, So how's Jim nowadays? Doing
This week I
good.
haven't been. Last week was good, like 2, 3 times or so. But yeah, same thing as old, like more calisthenics,
I'm
more
doing
conditioning.
calisthenics as well.
Nice, man. And it's
Um,
going good?
yeah, it's really good. I'm doing I'm really close to mastering the dragon flag.
Nice.
I'm really close at the muscle up as well, like strict form muscle up.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to convert my strict muscle up to the slowed version, slow muscle up. But that's
Nice, man.
that probably take a while.
Nice, man.
front lever, I'm not even close front lever yet, not yet. But
Can I share another sales tactic with you?
yeah, of course, I'd love to.
People always want to talk about themselves and they say and do everything out of their own perception. You want to keep that in mind. For example, just now, Kevin asked me the question of the gym, right? But he actually wanted to share what he was doing. So the question was irrelevant. All he was trying to do and wanting to achieve is me asking the question back so he could share what he wanted to say. Was that right, Kevin?
Yes and no. I was curious about how you were doing actually in the gym.
50-50.
Not like, yeah, 50-50.
Fair
Definitely.
enough. And it's not to be rude to you, right? I know you're interested in my gym journey or other people's gym journey too, but it's something you do want to keep in mind every time you talk to people as well. It's the most interesting trick. Make it about them.
Yeah, be a better listener.
Ask more
Yeah, be
questions,
like,
ask more
yeah.
interested questions, ask more deep questions. Like if you become really good at sales, you know exactly what questions to ask to literally like have this needle to like pinch completely through the person instead of like shotgunning them with information. You want a clean hit. And that's what you want to try and do with questions. Make them like very pinpoint. Like what's the emotion? What's the story? What's the pain behind what that person's doing or saying? And then if you have a question like that, then it can become a very, very interesting convo because that's sales. It's all emotional. It's all emotional state, being able to resonate with them feeling that you are connected to them as well. For example, for Patri, that gender thing, right? We could dive into that, right? I could ask you so many questions about it and it could go super, super deep, right? But it could also divert into a different route, but the same emotion, right? So these are just things that, you do during a call. You're gonna feel out first what topic you're gonna dive into, then you dive into it and basically talk about it. It's kind of like a freaking therapy session.
Yeah, and apparently Gunwood benches on a call. His name is Daniel in English. I didn't know
Oh,
that.
nice.
Yes, yes, hello.
Ah, that's awesome, Daniel. Oh, my bad. I thought you were just a community member or something. I literally asked
No, no.
just when you joined, when you were in the waiting room, to Patrick,
Yep.
what's the name uh of Mr. Bench? And yeah, I didn't know. Cool, cool, cool.
Oh no, that's
We're
cool. Well,
just
thank you for
analyzing
having me.
your yeah, we were just analyzing your profile. And no, it's cool, man. It's cool. If you want to share more about your journey, go ahead.
Yeah, of course. Like if you want to scroll down to maybe day one, is that a share screen? Yep. Yep. Okay, cool. Yep. So I think for day one, it was very you know, you can see with the quality of the video, it was just very, very raw, and it was just me kind of being like, okay, well, I want to do something. I have a social media PR sort of marketing background. So we have a launch of a new platform coming out later this year, like an e-commerce marketplace. And I just
Mhm.
wanted to experience more, I guess, with just it was just like a social experiment to see how the algorithm works, and seeing like what I can do as well on my own. Because I've always been on sort of the background working with influencers, working on marketing campaigns for brands, but never just my own. Like
Mhm.
I wasn't really posting on social that much. I didn't really have an active account. So I thought, hey, I want to sort of challenge myself to go out a little bit more. So I just started this concept of lifting, I guess, lifting rice. That was the first video. The intention was to, I guess, lift exactly just rice. Um, but it was just, yeah, it was quite easy, and that's how it sort of developed. You can see from the different days that I changed the weights up to little just household things, very sort of, I try to keep it like quite either rice related or anything sort of within like a sort of Asian culture sort of
Mhm.
thing. So I kind of wanted to own that space as well. But it was just for fun for the first, I guess, almost 10 to 11, 12 days. I didn't have much expectations, to be honest, because it was just, yeah, it was just for fun, really, right?
Mhm.
But then, yeah, I think it started to really pick up at around day 11, 12. And what I did learn was that the day 10 video, which has got almost 10 million views now, I think, that specific video, that's when people started. I think that's what really hit the algorithm, and that was on people's explore pages, and that's what was being shared around. So you can see there, I was still on 101 followers, right?
Mhm.
So 10 days, 101 followers. By the time I was filming for day 12, that's when there was like a huge shoot up in the algorithm, the views, and then the comments of people coming in through from day 10 onto the next videos.
Mm.
So even on day 11, you'll see that I had about 155 followers, and then day 12, it shot up to
Yeah.
3,000. There we go. And then the growth from there was just it was quite exponential. It went from
Mhm.
3 to 25K to 40, I think, and then 55. Or actually, the numbers that you see there, they were going up quite a little bit too fast, so I wasn't able to keep up with the, where you should do the lift.
Yeah.
But I guess what I wanted, like ideally what I wanted was it to sort of go up a little bit more steady, but it went from 50 to 80. When I was lifting 80, it was already past 100, for example. And
Mm.
I guess, and then by the time it was past 100, or it was at like 110, for example, and then I was just trying to think like, okay, what do I need to do? I obviously can't lift 110 kgs of rice. So then I guess you could say that the exit strategy was to get other people involved. I was considering to do something else, like maybe do 2 reps of something, but it just didn't feel right for some reason. I
Mhm.
felt like it would have just lost its sort of like I guess excitement. I guess that's what one of the learnings I had was people were really excited for, not just excited, but there was a bit of a anxiousness as well on like what is he going to do? Like how is he going to get to this? How is he going to get to sort of, you know, get past this stage? How is he going to, like if it's 80K followers, now he's on 100, what is he going to do? So there was a bit of sort of, I guess, playing with that emotion. I think you touched on that as well. Of people taking them from day one to where we are now. What I would have liked to have done was to have that journey to be a little bit longer, so I could have employed like more things with the time I had. For example, if I could have captured some of the audience through like a database, email database or something, but I didn't have that luxury. It was quite fast. So then I changed the concept to let's see if I can partner with people, brands, and other influencers to lift together, and then start donating that over.
Yeah.
So start donating that to the local, for example, the local charity or the local food bank or what. So it becomes more of a cause driven purpose, and it's yeah. I guess it also makes it sort of, I guess, a better reason to watch, not just because it's no longer just me lifting rice anymore.
Yeah. And what's
So
your
yeah, you
future
can see.
plan?
So at this stage, so my growth went up to about 119K, and now I guess the main reason for people to stay and keep following has ended essentially, right? So now I'm seeing a dip from 119 to now it's 112. So I think it's an ongoing dip, and it will even out until potentially, yeah, I guess when I think when maybe Instagram also will probably start clearing out some suspicious accounts as well. And obviously people would now think, hey, this show is over, unfollow, but then it's more about maintaining what I have and also working with brand deals as well.
Okay.
So I think that's my current sort of how I'm seeing it at the moment.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the background, I'm thinking of ideas to how I can potentially grow it further, if that is the end goal. But yeah, I'm not too like concerned in terms of, hey, I need to grow it further. I feel like I've got a decent audience at the moment. Sure, it'll be great to grow more, but it's probably better to try and nurture and maintain the current audience as well, if I can, as a more of a priority as opposed to trying to keep growing.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so then in terms of the content itself, I'm trying to pivot to a little bit things that my current audience might be a little bit more engaged in, or maybe even try to introduce a different type of audience as well.
Yeah.
And it's from there it's a little bit of like an experimentation. I've got like a hype auditor tool that will look at the audience demographics and their interests and stuff. So it might be like they might be interested in a certain category that I can start seeding into. For example, that could be doing some sort of home style cooking, for example.
What I would do is
go ahead.
I would do the same as you did before, exactly this style, because this raw format was initially what blew up, right? So this is the stuff that your audience would, if you were to like continue to grow but nurture the main audience right now, I feel you were on a really good track indeed with the idea of doing it with people. Like I think that's like a kind of a hack that you can use for it if you want to stick to Rise, and then indeed like have a good message behind it. I think that's kind of like how you can really blow up. Because what's very interesting is it's kind of like the Mr. Beast format that is kind of blowing up with Instagram, right? And on YouTube, obviously Mr. Beast did it for quite some time, but it's the exact same thing, right? For example, Mr. Beast having a video saying 1,000 words or a million words in 1 hour or whatever, right? Like all these challenges that he did. And it's very cool to see that it's kind of coming to Instagram, but then in these day-to-day, daily life formats. So long story short, I would switch to this back again, where you like record yourself like this, and continue with the day-by-day process. I would post less, right? Maybe start doing a week, right? Week something something. You can even do months, right? where you continue the growth, but then you decrease the amount of content because daily is just going to be impossible for donating rise, bench pressing rise, or pressing it or whatever. And then what you do is you
Yep.
decrease the time span week to week or month to month, and you do it with other people, right? So let's say you have like 4 gym guys, all bench press that amount divided by 4 at the same time, or have a whole group of people like this food center, right, that you were collaborating with, lift it all together, right? Something like that where you like incorporate other people with it. I think that could be a way to maintain the growth.
Yeah, well, that's definitely one of the things that I was considering. I guess it's just yeah, in terms of like the reach, it's obviously in the like that whole sort of daily post sort of thing, that's one of the momentums that's been lost. So yeah, I'll and just arranging the like putting into practice, arranging the sort of like joint lift, group lift is a lot more time
Yeah.
consuming. Well, not I guess like I've got one brand for example, who's willing to do it. And they've sent me products as well, so that's on its way.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming next week, for example. So there's a bit of a gap. So I'm trying to fill in those gaps with other types of content if I can, or just like a daily story, something along those lines.
Yeah. 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 It's really indeed, as you said, to do with like the interest of the audience. You can also just put up like do a week full of polls, right? Like what do you want to see, this or this? Have like 2 things, and then or sorry, have like 4 things. The 2 winners, do them against each other, then have like the top 2, top 1, top 4, right? And rinse and repeat that with like different things you want to kind of outweigh to each other. But I think if you post a similar format like this before, that's the reason why people like really, really liked it. They saw your face in the morning and they resonated that topic with your face. I think that could like really continue the growth curve. And I don't really think it would make a really big difference if you're doing it daily or weekly. Because weekly, they all understand it's going to grow. So they're just curious, like what's going to happen again, right? It's that you know, in like in a casino, right? They don't know what they're gonna get. They spin and they spin and they spin and they spin. It's like this continuous loop. And then as you grow, you can incorporate more formats, you can decrease the posting, you can post a bit of lifestyle, right, as well, like some content about yourself as like this, right? What's the message behind it? If I were to follow this right now, I would be like, yeah, cool, but why the fuck is he doing this? You know? And no one is gonna, or well, not no one, but like a very small percentage is gonna go to here and then the journey or about, right? And like completely check everything out and read it. So yeah, like more maybe telling more about you, right? Like what inspired you to do this? Maybe even having like in your week having the challenge video and maybe a bit of like day in the life or stuff like that. I think that could like maintain nurture the audience a bit more, and maybe changing the bio a bit as well.
Yeah, definitely. If I should, there's a lot little things to refine here and there. So that's all good feedback, and thanks for the insight.
Yeah, but it's a sick concept, man. It's really sick. Like there's a lot of potential as well because Patri said you had like 15K views on the stories. So that means the quality of your audience is it's mind blowing. So
So that conversion that I guess from about 100K followers to about like I'm getting about what's the conversion on my stories at the moment?
Yeah,
like the day
12%.
before the day before I had 22.5K story views.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
But
25,
like it
24%.
fluctuates. Sometimes it goes from like 8, 9K, 10K. Like I think it also depends on the day that you post your stories. And if you have obviously if you have multiple stories, the later ones start to decrease quite a bit. But for example, my current story that's live now is it's got 32.5K views on the current existing story.
But it in my opinion, from my perspective and experience, it just shows how quality your audience is and how much it actually doesn't matter of all these little perfectionistic things of like, oh, they care so much about this daily content. No, they don't, because it's 35 fucking thousand views. So if they did, they would have dropped off completely. I feel they're inspired by what you do and maybe your authenticity, your where you're coming from, your story maybe. And I feel like that could be like a craving that these people have. And I also said to Patrick, maybe even like freaking starting a YouTube channel, right? Like that could even be something that you can do. But you can also
Yeah,
just
well,
keep it
that's
to
definitely
IG.
be considered. I guess YouTube I'll need to start filming in a different format, right? Or I guess I could do shorts, but as
Yeah, so
in
what you want to do ideally is if you start with YouTube, you want to have two channels, one for shorts, one for long form. It's the same for Instagram. If we run shoutouts on, for example, pages like Wealth, I explain more about like how we run shoutouts on pages like this for our clients. And like why we choose to post reels or why we choose to post carousels or normal posts. It's the same for YouTube. Iman Ghazi also said the same thing in his mastermind, which was actually really funny, that there's sort of like YouTube channels that are completely made for shorts and completely made for videos, like long form videos, based on YouTube pushing it more to those type of people. So it's also like
Yeah.
what audience does the short form attract, and what audience does a long form attract. So since you're super good in short form, I would stick to that and just rinse and repeat this, but then on YouTube. And then yeah, you can slowly incorporate like long form onto it if you want to. But yeah, it depends on your goal. If you want to
Yeah.
have YouTube be the nurturing machine for whatever you're going to sell or do, or I don't know, you can do
That's
that.
interesting.
Yeah,
So you would suggest to split it into two actual channels, not one channel, but do both formats.
exactly. If you want to, it depends on your
Mm.
goal, right? That's like a big
Yeah.
question for yourself. Um, what's your long-term goal,
Yeah.
not short-term? Yeah.
I guess the long form is interesting because I feel like that's where you can actually talk to the audience a little bit longer and it's a bit of a different like different potential for certain things you can do, right? Whereas the short
100%.
form,
Yeah.
you're a bit potentially restricted. I was thinking like I didn't really consider to split it up, but that's a potentially a good call.
Yeah, it again depends on your goal and like how much time availability you have for it as well, because in my opinion, long form content also requires like a bigger storytelling skill. And if I answer the question of like what do I think you're good at already, it's short form. So, it just depends. You can start experimenting with it long term, but if you want to have something like done or launched next week, I would start with the short form and then grow to the long form and practice and just make those videos like great. And then promote your like long form content channel on, for example, your Instagram as well. And then as you incorporate more like lifestyle and maybe more storytelling posts from your account, you create more that nurtured audience, and then you can send those 35,000 people to your long form channel. Then the videos are very, very good, so they retain on the videos as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Like the last thing you want is that you're spending time on things that you're not super, super good at, and kind of diverting and pivoting more from what you've already been doing.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
it's yeah.
oh yeah, just like question on sort of viewership on your stories. I guess this is kind of like an open question to everyone. The whole theory of the day that you post, maybe even the time where you post your story, because I've experienced a huge difference in terms of the views. For example, like 30K is probably the highest views at the moment I've had throughout the whole journey.
Yeah.
Even when I was getting like 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 followers in a day, it never hit over 30K. Now it's at 30K for some reason, but yesterday it was only at 20. The day before, which was the average, it was around that 10K mark. Is that something that it would be great to hear everyone else's experience on, and I guess the ratio from their followers to their number of story views?
Yeah.
And if yes, the time of the day, or I mean, sorry, the time of the week does impact that or not. Or is it kind of random, I guess, or is there some sort of momentum driven to it? I don't know if that applies to stories as much as normal, like reels and posts.
Yeah, on stories, at least from my experience, other people can go next as well, is from you can have engaging stories, right? With like a sticker or a poll with like a yes or a no or a sticker. That will like 10x your story views. If you've not used that yet, try to use that. Let's see. Yeah. So for example, make it like grabbing this video, right? Let's say, and like putting this raw video and putting like a laughing emoji on the bottom right, something like that, right? Where people
Yeah.
can respond to it, engage with the stories. In my opinion, you'd have to analyze the story frequency in like average views, lowest views, and like largest amount of views over like at least a period of a month to kind of feel it out. In my opinion, it's very random, but it really depends on like the audience. Typically, if you do like promotions, let's say you want to send people to like a landing page, you want to do at least like 3 to 5 hours in between the story. So what we usually do with like all the theme pages I own, and with clients we run, is they do an engaging story, and then 3 to 5 hours after they have the promotional story. So it kind of like leans into each other. And in terms of conversion, it really depends for the quality of the audience, or where did the majority come from, right? So from my perspective, that like 9 million view video, this is your quality determining factor of your audience, right? So I would break this video down. I would be like, why did this attract such a quality audience, right? That would be my main question. Like, what's the format? How did I talk? How long was the video? Like everything, right? How did I look? What was the angles? What was the music? What was the speed? The lighting, right? And yeah, that's like where the majority comes from. And you can compare it with insights. So with age, percentage, gender, and country. So I do always post just before morning, or like around 8 a.m. their time, or I
Do you
post around
post
like
on
5 p.m.
Do you post
their
based
time.
on your audience?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm
100%.
not posting location based. I've done it a couple of times for a brand that wanted to do it at a certain location. For example, we're in Sydney, but every other time I haven't taken in location into consideration. But when I look at my audience, they're majority based in the US. And or like Tennessee, for example, is my top city. But I don't really cater to that specific city like time zone or anything. I don't know if my videos now are getting pushed more locally, or if it's getting pushed out, I guess, more to just, I guess, who's engaged more with my content.
Yeah, honestly.
I haven't switched to the creator account either.
Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting, actually.
Yeah. So I think in the beginning stages, that's probably, I don't know, just from my experience, something that I may recommend. If you have other tools that can measure your insights, because
that's so interesting. Holy moly. I
Yeah.
never heard that before.
yeah, well,
Patrick,
I
did
think
you switch to creator?
Yeah. I've started the page. I immediately switched to creator so I can see the insights.
yeah, well, at the very least, if anyone's looking to start like a business page, for example, I would never switch it to business until I have momentum.
Yeah.
Like for example, I've got I guess my full-time work I'm working for, we're looking at starting a new e-commerce marketplace, like I mentioned. And we're looking to do it obviously on social channels for it. We'll start it as a personal page. Get some momentum and establish a quality audience, and then seed in the sort of the brands and the products later.
Yeah.
So I guess that's quite a universal strategy that we're all sort of doing at the moment, right? We're creating the audience and then trying to sell it, as opposed to trying to sell to a new, like, you can't, that doesn't work like that, right?
That's
But yeah,
interesting,
that's
man.
just, but
Do you have like
I
an
have
example of a brand where you've done that?
So one brand that I sort of had to not really, that's already launched, that you can show maybe a bad example of doing great looking content, but it's just not reaching the eyeballs because the strategy was wrong. If you can search up SRW_labs. SRW, R for underscore labs, LABS. Yep. So this is one of the brands that like in terms of the aesthetics of the grid looks fine. We sell premium nutraceuticals for this brand, but the launch of it, if I was behind the launch of it, I would have done it completely different because the as a
Yeah.
business, yeah, as a business account, it's just so for example, this post here that's got quite a lot of views. It's because of the collaboration with this specific individual. And what I would have done in the beginning would have been created value for the audience that we want to go after in the specific category,
Yeah.
and then captured the audience before launching the brand, before
Yeah.
seeding the products. So then we could have got from 0 to, let's say, 10K within the first month, and then worked on that quality audience from there. But I guess many
Damn
sort
good
of
strategy.
brands,
Yeah.
many brands out there, I guess more corporate brands, not sort of our own brands we're looking to do here. The end goal for Instagram really for them, because in sort of the marketing eyes, Instagram is not for conversion in terms of products, like a hard sell, or it's difficult. It's a lot harder. That obviously that claim that I've just said is very subjective, of course, but
It's
in
true,
the
man.
sort of
Yeah.
in certain industries that it's more of like you need to be on Instagram just to show people that you're on it, and it's like more of a credibility piece as opposed to like a main sales driver that's more through SEM and Google ads and all that sort of paid social, I guess that's what you call it,
Yeah.
right? Like your meta ads, and obviously retail stores. So but I would have approached it completely different. And then all the stuff that we're doing now, that would have, like, if we had done that earlier, then the content that we're serving now would have been far more, I guess, there would have been far more eyeballs on it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
So that's just something to consider, I guess. You wanna build your community before you sell to them.
I think you definitely felt like a blue ocean there, with like capturing the audience before launching the brand. It's such a big need because for background, for your reference, I did like 2 years of also starting an agency and having a whole bunch of services. We scaled up pretty nicely, but then the brand we were attracting was kind of similar to what you said. It was all based on like credibility, being able to translate that instead of scaling it. And it was always like with the visuals and with the growth and with everything, it had to be very conversion based, right? Like, oh, this is input, this is output, etc. And it was very hard to measure, but it's a very good topic. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Where you just make like these videos, you become super, super good at it. You select like one brand ambassador from the company. That person makes the video, or well, at least records the videos. You teach them how to express themselves, or you just handpick the person, or you have your in-house guy. Yeah, it's a very simple concept, but it's very, very, very in demand. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's good examples. I think another one you can, if you want to search, is Vidaglow, VIDA Glow, GLOW. So this one is more of a successful brand that's under our sort of the company that I work for is like one of our brands that we look after and as part of our portfolio. But this one, you'll see it's quite clear what they're doing. The views are like far more, I guess the content's far more engaging. There's a lot more connections with real people.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't specifically do it in this way, but it's kind of like product is there, but people are first almost.
Yeah. And how would you do with this brand if you could start over?
Well, I think this brand itself, it's been around for quite a while. So I think in this current market, to sort of get yourself out there and sort of penetrate that market and to put yourself on the map, you'll need to do sort of bold moves, right? You want to essentially be the outlaw in your industry.
Yeah.
To be seen, especially on social, because people like, yeah, we all scroll through, right? And when you think about when you're actually scrolling through reels, let's say, for example, how often do you really just like actually like stop, like, comment on things? I find myself, I don't do that at all, barely. Like, even
Yeah.
if I like something, I'll like it, but I'll just kind of keep scrolling, or I'll just hold on that screen for a little bit longer. It could be different for everyone else, but when I'm not really paying attention and I'm just kind of passing time, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just, yeah, seeing that behavior on your target audience. This, I guess, for VitaGlow specifically, social was one component of a bigger machine that we were doing. We were looking at more associating ourselves with premium brands, premium sort of people, I guess sort of like B-list celebrities, top tier influencers, local influencers.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, I guess that's the approach. VitaGlow is doing really well. In terms of the share sales, we've got distributions in China, for example. We're branching out to the US, the UK. UK is doing pretty good as well. And social is just essentially, it's part of the social proof, really. It's not like a conversion driver again. But that doesn't mean that with everyone else's sort of industry that you're, I guess, the niche that you're working on, that
Yeah.
you can't sell on social, because yeah, there's definitely potential. It's just what to your point, it's what your goal is, right?
I think maybe if I can shed my light on this brand, what I would do is I would indeed have more of these videos, but then edit it in this style to make it more like eye-catching, captivating, like
Yeah.
short-term attention-based content. It's a new format that I just thought of.
Yeah.
And
It's like
yeah,
that's kind of,
that's what I would do.
yeah, I guess for me, I'm at the position where I'm like this is what we all kind of know what's going to work, right? But when you work with corporates, they've got like this sort of brand guidelines, look and feel, that if it becomes different from that, then it's you struggle to sort of get things over the line. Obviously, with each of our sort of brands and channels, we have the luxury of, I guess, being able to be more flexible and more agile
Yeah,
with
makes sense.
our approach. Yeah. So I guess that's why, for example, my sort of journey, I was able to do something more. I think one of the key elements in the beginning stages, especially, was just the raw sort of, like, I've just filmed it on my phone sort of look, right? I don't need to, like, you don't really need like too fancy sort of
Yeah.
like, some editing is good, but okay, you need good quality. I think it's not bad quality content. You want good quality content, but it doesn't have to be in a professional setting, for example.
Yeah.
Like, you still want to be able to see properly. You still want to have decent quality, right? But it's just more that take-home message. It's like it also depends on like the audience as well. Like, do they want something that feels like they're just talking to them or not?
Exactly, but I think that element, that's the most important one, because you talk the exact same way in your videos like you're talking now. So I feel that people feel that as well in their content. If you, for example, start talking differently, it's the same with Patri, right? Your style of communication is the exact same in calls like this as in your videos. So it's also, in my opinion, to do if people feel you're faking it or not. And yeah, for some people it's like really like meant to be. Like, let's say you were to have like a corporate company who would be open to it. I would just find the person who's the best person to express themselves in the best way, and just teach them what to say, how to say it, and do storytelling.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I've pitched my social strategy to our head, I guess, our director, the founder of this marketplace, and he loves the idea. Some of the things that I've pitching that would potentially get us quite viral, in terms of like the resources to do it, maybe it's a bit tricky, because I'm thinking more like guerrilla marketing style, where we do something that, like, for example, if we can get Paris Hilton in a room talking about something and like a hot topic at the moment related to health and wellness, that's like your almost like your gateway into sort of into a territory where you're going to have some sort of credibility. Well, not, I wouldn't say credibility necessarily, but some sort of engagement at least. So it's, yeah, I can't really share too much because it hasn't launched yet, but I'll be happy to share it if it when it does take off.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
But yeah,
sounds good.
I'd rather
It's
I'd
interesting.
rather spend that time on my own thing if I could.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's an interesting strategy. It's like I feel like it's just figuring out like how you can combine that with like the guidelines of the companies that you're working with
Mm.
/ for, and
Yeah.
making it sustainable for resources. That's like the only main
Mm.
bottleneck. But in my opinion, you can do that easily. Like this person can literally, you can re-edit this video in the same style as you, make a few simple
Mm.
cuts, have a few images
Mm.
pop by, and it would have like 5 times more views,
Mm. Yeah,
at least in my opinion.
Do you feel like Instagram is gonna, I guess, keep or people are gonna keep, because you can see that a lot of people are catching on to that, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it's gonna catch a growth curve, honestly. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
then do you think it's going to then the next thing's going to come out, for example? Like, is it going to be, yeah, like, because you can only, this sort of the raw format, people are going to get tired of seeing, like, for example, I don't know about you guys, but once I sort of did this like day 1, day 2, day 3 challenge, all of a sudden my sort of explore the reels that I go through are now similar things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So there's going to be a bit of you know, people, that's all they see now, so now they want to sort of shift. I don't know, who knows, right? There could be
Yeah.
a shift in that. I guess maybe not now because I think it's starting to trend the sort of daily challenge thing this year so much more. So it wasn't really a thing last year, for example. Yeah, it's just some good like I guess observations. It's good to always
Yeah.
be on like finger on the pulse, right? You want to make sure you can pivot where you can as well.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I do feel like I mean we could also analyze it back in the day what happened on Snapchat, TikTok, and on YouTube, a little bit on YouTube. Like what happened when those like very organic style videos came out, what happened straight after. I don't feel like there's gonna be like a major pivot. The amount of people that are gonna consume it is just gonna be less because there's more of the same, right?
Yeah.
What's the opposite again of demand? Demand and I know it in Dutch. What's the
What, sorry?
opposite, guys? Demand, you have demand and you have
Supply?
supply and demand. Thank you. I knew it in
Oh,
Dutch, couldn't get the word.
Okay, demand and supply. Yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that is gonna play a major role where it's just gonna be more of the same. So more people are gonna be pushed the same content, which means less engagement is gonna be kind of divided between all
Yeah.
the content creators, which in my opinion makes the video editing, the message behind the challenge way more interesting, like the emotional side of things, and like the
Yeah.
person, like the mission, the vision of the person itself. Who is that person? Why would I want to follow him? Accept the challenge, right? So
Yeah.
it's also a good thing to think about for yourself, like what are like 5 to 10 reasons why people would follow you? And you want to try and have each reason be the same amount of weight as one another. So the challenge shouldn't outweigh your story, and your story shouldn't outweigh the challenge. And that's like a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's something that, in my opinion, would like build on top of it. I mean, think of like IShowSpeed, right? He started with like the most random ass videos of him screaming and whatever, but then he started doing fucking music, and then he started launching this and that, right? Like
Yeah.
his main character, who he is he's a person who tries and experiments everything and anything because of who he is, and he's weird. So that's kind of like the big question. The challenges is the gateway to it, but then the nurturing stage is like, who are you, right? And I feel like if you can express that in like different ways as well, with the same formatting and styles and stuff like that, you'd still conquer basically because you can still maintain that attention span in purity. with
Yeah.
your existing audience, which could allow you to reach like that new audience very easily.
I guess at this stage, I'm at this crossroad where I think my growth is at a decrease more than the followers that I'm gaining.
Mm.
So it's just something I just need to somehow address that, or wait it, or like I guess keep going until that sort of tapers back. Because that could potentially impact like the type of challenge I do. For example,
Yeah.
if I'm calling out how many followers I have to a certain metric of weight, for example, and if that number of followers is decreasing, then it's I guess people are questioning, and they're right to a question, like why is your followers decreasing, which is a fair point. But I guess when I've been talking with other sort of social media experts who've worked with like McDonald's, KFC, and all those brands, they're pretty much saying yes, that's quite normal. That after, especially because you've experienced an exponential growth, unless I'm able to hit it with something bigger to keep that growing, it's going to you're going to see a natural decrease, because essentially the main show is over, right? The main driver of that from day 10, because what I noticed was people there was like a distribution, and the rate of increase of the views, even if I'm on day, let's say I was still on day 16, it's not like day 16 was increasing a lot. It was actually the day 10 that was consistently being served to people. And still to date, it's still slowly being served to people.
Yeah.
So it's, I guess, especially when you're in the beginning stages, that's good to, if you do notice something like that, then you have to really realize if someone clicks into that and then clicks onto your profile, what do they see, right? Like, what is the most recent video? So I guess the behavior was they come into day 10, come into my profile, and then they see the most recent post because that's what they're interested in.
Yeah.
So at one
makes sense.
stage, what I was doing was, even though I was posting other content, I still pinned like in like days 16, 15, and 14, as if to kind of see if that did anything, and that helped bring up those views for those specific videos, which was a good experience, like good test and learn sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it's just it'll be good for everyone, I guess. It's always good to understand, like if you were a new follower or potential new follower, like what would that journey look like for you? You'd look at the content. What would you do? Would you
Yeah.
comment? Would you share it, or would you go into the profile to see more about who this person is?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's just kind of making that sort of UX a little bit. That's where you add the quality. That's why the bio might be important, or your latest few content is important, or the story highlight might be important.
Makes sense. Yeah,
But
interesting.
A lot of testing and learning.
Yeah, it's really interesting. It's such a good case study as well, because it only has 27 posts with like 112K followers. And I also have a good example of a friend of mine, Valorgy. Where is it? Valorgy. You want to take a look at this, man. Every single digital marketer is gonna have a fucking boner when they look at this. Like, it's crazy. 64 posts, 2.5 million followers. Oh, Jesus
What are the views
Christ.
like?
Yeah, it's insane, man. It's insane, but the conversion is so high.
Wow. I think they've really nailed their thing that they do well, right?
Visual
So
storytelling. Yep.
yeah.
It's literally the name of the game right now in everything. Selling, coaching, like what you're doing as well. And I believe that it's literally a skill you can monetize right now to teach other people. But I feel it's now people who are gonna like become super, super good at it are the people who just know exactly how to communicate and have a very strong sense of communication. I feel like those people would really benefit from it. And in my opinion, for you, it's more so the fear that is keeping you from testing out a new challenge, maybe, of the risk that the audience might decrease in a substantial amount. So it's kind of like you're kind of outweighing the two things in your head with like either you take the risk, which you pivot a little bit with like a slightly different challenge or like a slightly different way of pushing it, but the upside to it is that it gets the momentum going again. But honestly, I would not take the McDonald's and I don't know, KFC advice and whatever, like the guys who they work with too serious, because this format has just been coming up like crazy on Instagram in its own unique way. So, you know, they can apply their macro environment experience to it. But I would just say, fuck that, let's start testing more and see, and, you know, take that challenge by the throat and say like, cool, let's come up with like a new pivotal challenge. Because in my opinion, if I were to land on your profile right now and I would, for example, see Gymshark send you a mystery box part 1, I would be kind of like, you know, because what I feel like with people, especially like nowadays, is their intuition's just been leveling up like times a million. It's the same thing in like coaching calls and everything. Their intuition is just like times a million because they've been fed the same type of thing for so often, so they can see through it easily. So in my opinion, all I would do, incorporate this exact same style, you know, record it in the parking lot, people remember who you are, work a bit on your storytelling and analyze this post, mimic it, and just try some challenges.
Like, not to give anything away, but something similar I have, I guess, planned for a shoot today.
Nice.
Which could lead to like a daily or every second day sort of thing for next month. So it's kind of like my little test and learn as well, seeing how the audience might react to it,
and
seeing the
what
comments
also,
come
in
through.
my opinion, plays a really, really big role is Instagram has not been rewarding you as much for what you were rewarded for before because of your lack of consistency. So Instagram
that's
just
true.
rewards that consistency like so much, man. Like we've done that over so hundreds of pages we've owned. Like even 1 or 2 days gap of posting decreases the momentum like crazy. And
that's something I've 100% experienced, and it's like unless you have like something very valuable, like for example you're already established, then it won't really matter because people will organically come and find you. But I feel like it's because when you think about it, I've been on the scene for less than a couple of months. You know, like I'm not like I'm not a well-known figure. I don't like I'm offering like entertainment essentially, and at the convenience of it comes up on my reel, on my feed, for example, as opposed to people are actively looking out for a specific person. So maybe that's something that people can consider to work on as well too. That's why I have titled myself as this as the Rice Guy, because it's I want to sort of own that sort of name, and it's kind of like a branding almost, right? A niche that I can be like, I'm recognized as the Rice Guy, for example.
Yeah. I guess like for that positioning, I would just ask yourself, what's the long-term objective? Because like honestly, if you want to be known for that long term, dive more into Rise. You know, think of like 10 different variants of the same thing, and it could be easy for you to grow to 1 million. But and then start doing long form on YouTube, where you like I already talked about with Patrick before you were here. Go and visit Japan, like for the best quality of rice or whatever, right? I don't have any experience with rice. I'm just rambling some ideas. But like that's the type of route I would go for. And then indeed work with food companies, work with maybe start an e-com store yourself, or you know, there's so many different routes to monetize it, but that's what you can be known for the guy who basically like helps people with world hunger, right? But then through rice. But you could even do it with different foods that you can donate as well. And then all you could do is set up like a GoFundMe, be known for that. Like you could become indeed the rice guy, but the rice is the entry level to world hunger.
Many
Like
things,
what, yeah, exactly. So that's something you can do. And I think that could really like make you blow up like
well, it's definitely like I don't think there's anyone else out there that I can think of that has that title of the Rice Guy.
Yeah.
I don't think, like I know that the chicken breast eating guy, for example, if you haven't heard of him, then check him out.
Idea.
He's doing pretty good for himself, but he's doing a crazy experiment where he's eating raw chicken every day until he gets sick.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, but he's on like 400 or 500K. He's on the news. He's on, yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Jesus.
But it would be so interesting to see him, like how he has an exit strategy essentially.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Like all I would do if I were you is just change your bio
Mm,
and make it more generic with like something with world hunger.
mm,
Or like your very long-term objective that the rice guy is your coin name, right? Like that's your name. And
yeah,
then the bio just makes a statement for the long-term objective. And then just start
yeah,
doing the same challenge, but like in 10 different
in
variants so you
different
can maintain
ways.
consistency. Yeah, and then have the
Yeah.
same formatting, right? But then different type of video. Because if you start a video like this every single
Mm,
day, Instagram is going to reward the consistency. People are going to be seeing your face, but they're also going to be hit with variety, which I think is going to be more important for the future too. That they can have a little
mm,
bit of variety with what they see.
yeah.
Um,
I guess that was
yeah.
one of the things that I was considering, but I couldn't do because of the exponential growth, was I wanted to seed in content in between each day, just so I can get my audience used to me posting like I guess content from me that's different to just these daily challenges, because daily challenges is good, but it's good for the algorithm, but it's not that sustainable.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. But then the whole quest and challenge is like, how can you find challenges that are sustainable
Mm,
daily, but also make it fun for yourself, where you're also changing up stuff for yourself. Like I would be tired of bench pressing rice after a month.
yep.
Um, yeah, truth be told. So like, thinking of like a different cool challenge and like not being limited to, oh, this is what
Mm,
the audience wants to see. Like, fuck that, make it sustainable
mm,
for yourself because consistency is going to be way more important and outweigh the factor of the challenge what you do,
mm,
in my opinion.
yeah. Well, like
Because
one thing I
eventually, like
did.
you gain that audience, and then when you have that audience,
Mm,
the level of the same content of what they see just becomes less and less and less important. So it's way easier to
mm,
pivot. It's kind of like this graph.
yeah, definitely. I think I'm a little bit. It's early stages when you think about it. For me. Um, and yeah, still a lot of testing and learning to do, right? Like I think there's also the route of like the training program sort of style, right? I do recall still currently there are a lot of people that message asking, hey, like, can you have a look at my profile and like give me some advice or give me some tips sort of thing. And I
Mm.
do try help out where I can. But it's like I'm giving away free information, sure, that's fine, but I could really capture value in that. But I don't think on my specific page that should be like one of the primary messages at this stage. Hey, here's this training sort of thing. Maybe that's on like a separate page completely. I'm not sure what that looks like, but there is some sort of value there. I feel like you said,
Separate
there's
long
a
term and
hunger.
short term. This is all short term.
Who
Long
knows?
term
But
is like
who knows,
the
right?
yeah, in my perspective, like the long term is very much so more the solving world hunger. Like, what's your
Oh
main
yes, yeah, yeah,
vision
of
and
course, yeah, yeah.
mission?
In terms of
Uh, yeah,
the rice guy, that this account, definitely. I don't want to seem too commercial at all. Um, I don't want to. I don't want to like. Sure, I can do brand deals where I'm saying this is what I eat, or
mhm.
this is what I drink, because that's I guess somewhat natural. In terms of that's what a lot of influencers do.
Yeah.
But to hard sell like my own programs that make that with the goal to make money, I feel like it's not a good brand fit.
No, no, no.
Um,
Don't do that. What I would actually do is start a
yeah, yeah,
school community for zero,
mm,
right? And then in the school
yeah,
community, make some very quality videos of how you make your videos, how you edit
mm,
them, give it all away for free. Um,
mm,
every single person that enters, you request that they donate to what you're doing for the
yeah,
good cause. Then
mm,
you set up meetups. You can cultivate like an
mm,
audience within an audience, kind of like phase two of your brand. And
yeah.
then yeah, that's what I would do. Make some valuable
That's an interesting
videos in
concept.
there.
Would you,
Like,
so you wouldn't paywall it from the beginning, even if it's a small paywall to get people, like for example, $1, just so it's to donate at least a bowl of rice or something,
example. Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Like you could
So
set
would
it
that,
up as a
do you think that would
subscription,
be
as
a
like a
huge
dollar per
barrier or an
month.
okay?
I would honestly just do it for free at the beginning. Or you can do paywall. I mean, this is also 50-50, honestly. But
A
long
tiny
story short,
paywall.
like the school community would be
Mm.
the kind of like tool to share videos of your workouts, how you do them, how you record your videos, how you edit them, how you put them together. And essentially your mission and how you market this is going to be so that you can do the same to be able to contribute better to the world. That's like
Yep.
the initial message,
Yeah,
like
that makes
with your
sense, yeah.
long-term vision, right? Because it's never going to be a hard sell, join my community and get fucking a ton of followers, you know, it's going to be contribute
Yeah.
to what I'm doing as well, but in your own way. Because you see it with like the people who on your tagged, right? That tagged you on a few posts. I just saw like the ice bucket guy, right? Like a fucking
Yeah.
guy standing there with his hat. Because what's the main thing with this content? It inspires people, right? It inspires people that to think outside the box, to do something different. It's the same with Patrick, right? You know, you would have never thought that you would have done this challenge months and months and months ago. So I feel if you combine that with the element
Oh,
in
that's a good shout actually. To bring
yeah,
it back to the long
the
term.
roots. Yeah,
Yeah.
bring it back to the roots, the emotion behind it. That's the real key. It's what I've been doing with the coaching too. Like no one cares about the 5K a month and 100K followers and whatever. No one cares about that. It's all about how well I resonate and how well I communicate what I want to do in the future. That makes it
Yeah.
valuable for them in the short term.
Yeah. No, thanks for that insight.
And it's also cool because then with the community within the community, you can provide a shit ton of value. But besides that, you can also just, you know, share your meetups. You can build like a fucking insane community. And yeah, it can be in Discord, school, Telegram,
Have
whatever
you
you want, a WhatsApp group.
has anyone or have you had experience with Threads? Threads?
No idea.
Thread?
Never heard of it.
It's like the meta version of Twitter, I think.
No
So
idea.
if you go onto your Instagram, it keeps prompting me to create a threads or something. And
Friends.
it's actually thread, like
Oh, Threads. Yeah,
THREAD.
yeah.
Threads,
Thread
yeah,
I've heard of.
threads.
Yeah. Yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
like the Twitter version of yeah, for Instagram. Yeah.
Because I keep getting prompted from Instagram saying, hey, like
Yeah.
1,000 of your followers are on this, reach them sort of thing. And
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, like is this a an avenue where I can create a community? Not sure.
I've honestly never dived into it because I never want to divert my focus, but I'm sure
Yep.
it's something that you can look at. I just want to stick to the majorities, YouTube,
Yep.
Twitter, etc. And especially Instagram because that's what I'm good at. So yeah, sure. You can make threads as well. I know a few people who went from 100K followers to like 250 just because they started a threads account. It was like a really big spike, but yeah, short term it's not gonna do anything like
Yeah, of
I
course.
would
Oh,
worry
I'm
about
just
it.
like thinking of that community based. Is that the right location, or is it something like school, for example, or
No,
like
it's
where
like
does that
Twitter.
live?
Yeah.
Twitter. Okay, got it. Yeah.
It's kind of like Facebook, who then started Instagram, and then they linked the two together, basically. And then
Yeah.
Facebook is Threads, and then Instagram is Instagram.
So yeah.
Yeah, and then they basically, because it's a new app, completely from scratch, they obviously want to push it, so they're going to reward you in followers by making an account. It's kind of the same with
Yeah.
TikTok, that they made the virality entry level barrier like way lower at the beginning, so everyone went to the platform and kind of resonated the same number of virality at the beginning as valuable as, for example, with Instagram or other platforms. And they were like, holy shit, I've done this. I never thought I could achieve it. And then after time, people realized, oh, it's actually very easy. And then they made it harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny.
What is
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, what is your long-term objective?
Yeah, good question. I wanna basically do something with education. My long-term like vision is change the education system, build schools, things like that. That's like my long term. And yeah, essentially like be able to build like a fucking college. Like that's something that I would love to do. Like my goal, and this comes from a pain that I had in college myself. I studied business and entrepreneurship at the beginning, graduated cum laude, then went into marketing management, quit that after a year. And what I realized was that the stuff that people got taught was actually like completely delusional. Every single online marketing education, in my opinion, is not great because of this like industry being so ever changing. It's like making an education for this year about AI and then teaching everything from last year. That doesn't make sense, you know?
Yeah.
No.
The only thing
So
that would make
I
sense would be to learn like skills, for example, video editing
yeah,
skills,
yeah.
because that's not going to change, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe the
Exactly,
type
but
of things that you do.
it's
Yeah.
the more practical stuff. But
Yeah.
now everyone's been pushed towards the theory, right? Which is like the higher level education with like asking the why questions and understanding and analyzing. But in my opinion, there's going to be a major shift in education where we're going to need a lot more doers, people who actually do stuff and who learn the practical skills and then learn by implementing those skills. And it's my
Yeah.
journey, you know, how I've been doing this for 8 years and
Yeah.
building up the experience through it. But yeah,
I
long story
guess,
short, something with
yeah.
college that people can be there and express their authentic selves and kind of learn
Do you
that.
do you communicate that vision at all in your channels at all, or is
Not
that
really.
more
No, not really. I do it more on like
that's
calls and everything, but
yeah,
I am planning to
yeah.
do that a bit more. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really interesting. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people will resonate with the fact that, hey, you know, I feel like I wasted a lot of time
Yeah.
in school learning things that some things very relevant, sure, but majority of the time irrelevant, right?
Yeah.
If I had taught myself this, and this, but I guess at that age you don't really know, so you expect the school to know best, right?
Exactly. It's like authority framework. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be
Yeah.
interesting because then if you can get enough recognition, you could almost do your own degrees,
Yeah.
create your own
Yeah.
degrees, create your own programs, scholarships, and
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's and then you'll actually get you get parents who are comfortable to send their kids to the
Yeah.
school, right? Because at the moment that's probably it's usually the people the I guess the kids that kind of rebel against what they're doing to pursue something. For example, Mr. Beast is a great example, right? He
Yeah.
just even though his friends like didn't what like were like making fun of him for keep pursuing YouTube, he just did it. He continued to do it. And then look at him now, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That
So
makes sense.
yeah. Well,
That makes sense.
it's
What I
really,
believe
I
in
guess,
like
great to hear.
yeah, thank you. What I believe in like personal branding naturally is that you attract what you are in the way you
Mm,
communicate, in the way you express things, in the way you post your content, like everything. There's just this deep
mm,
level of emotion that people feel they are attracted to, in my opinion.
yeah.
And how I do it right now is obviously I coach people in like Instagram theme pages, being able to scale that, make some money from it, etc., build personal brands
Mm,
too. Then we have like an agency side, kind of similar to you, but a little bit different, where we like
mm.
run shout outs for people and like manage personal brands. So we
Okay.
ran the biggest Airbnb coach on Instagram's page of like
Mm,
700K or 600K.
yeah.
And it's really interesting to kind of like have that experience in combination with funnels and stuff like that, which I have for myself with my own coaching.
Mm,
And the kind of like strategy is that through this, right? Like these groups, this is obviously a free call, but then I have weekly calls with paid clients too, is to
yeah.
test out my level of education, being able to
Mm,
communicate what I can do very effectively, learn the skill of
yeah.
teaching by doing, and then
Mm,
getting to know people that are super interesting along the journey and partner up with those people to then be able to
mm,
add their skill set in my education vision. So that's kind
yeah.
of like the route I'm going for right now, and communicating my long-term vision in the short term for a
Yeah.
long-term goal. Meanwhile, I want a short-term goal. It's kind of like,
Mm,
well, where do I, what moves do you make? So right now it's all
yeah.
optimized for like 1 to 3 years and not like 30 years. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Would you consider clients that are corporates?
Yeah, yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah. It would
Because
depend on like the brand because I do hate guidelines. You
yeah,
know,
of
so
course. Well, I guess
yeah.
that could actually be an interesting challenge as well, right? And a
Mm,
good case study because what I'm looking to do with the company I'm at right now, or what my role is essentially we're looking to I don't have you heard of Mecca, the company Mecca?
Nope, no idea.
Mecca is like it's like a offline online sort of store marketplace as well for the sort of beauty and fashion industry. For it's essentially the that's probably why you haven't heard of it. I only hear it because it's in my industry, but it's essentially for women to get all their sort of makeup, fragrance, skincare, all of that sort of stuff. And it's like super premium. It's a very
Yeah.
premium market, and it's a very premium experience as well in store. So it's kind of like you walk in, people are there to put on samples for you, to take care of you, to make sure that you're having the best experience essentially. And this is, I think it's worldwide now. I think the growth is quite exponential. I haven't even checked their Instagram actually.
Yeah, I'm trying to
Mecca.
find it.
Mecca
You said
Beauty, that's what it's called.
You said you were in Sydney, right? As well.
Yes, yep.
Cool.
So this one, yeah, 975K followers. So these guys have got a sort of I guess they're the leaders in that sort of premium sort of marketplace space for beauty and fashion. Whereas what we're looking to do is there's a gap in the market where I don't know about you in your sort of country, but there are a lot of discount pharmacies that sell like all of your, like iHerb.com, for example, as well as a marketplace example. That there's just too many options, and we don't even know where to begin. So the gap in the market is essentially a premium marketplace for health and wellness, because wellness at the moment, I feel like, is a huge booming industry.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
you see like Dr. Huberman, for example, even Joe
Yeah.
Rogan, he's talking about wellness. There's that Brian Johnson who's spending millions of dollars on trying to reverse his age, for example. So there's a whole new realm industry here, right?
Yeah.
And that's obviously a trend as well, but not just a trend. I feel like it's not going to die because who like there's something about it's personal to us, right? As in the sense of our health span, how long we're going to live in a healthy state, for example. So that's what we're looking to launch essentially. And it'll be interesting to see if like as a company, we're looking for agencies as well, right? So that's something that that could be a potential because for me, I want to be like on the work side of things, as also what we're doing here as well is to disrupt, right? We're trying to disrupt an industry to get to essentially get our names out there, to stand out from the crowd essentially.
Yeah. No, that sounds very interesting, man. That's
yeah, like if I could probably
do you have a
because I
WhatsApp
feel like
number?
this I have a WhatsApp. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we can take this further or something with that. Because we do have and it could be turn into an interesting case study for you as well.
Let's see.
How do I? Okay, yes, I have my WhatsApp is just connected to my number. Do I just message?
Oh, Battery, would you mind sharing your WhatsApp number as well? Because I want to talk about that meme page.
Where can I drop it?
Zoom chat. You can send it like, yeah, exactly, like as a direct message, so it doesn't stay in the chat for other people. Cool.
You can send a personal message on
Zoom. Yeah, it's pretty
call?
cool. Sometimes I just talk with people during the call. It's pretty funny. Yeah, it really is. Like sometimes partners of mine take like one weekly call of like the big clients, and then I just like send a message to them, stop saying this or to it's so funny, man. And then you see them like mid-story being like, oh. Oh yeah, it's funny. Okay, cool. Well, it was a fucking long ass weekly call. It's gonna take like 3 hours to download.
Sorry for I know that I came in late and but it was
No, it was
it
cool
was
combo, man. It was fucking amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well,
It's
thank you for
also
having
good.
me, and thanks for valuable insights, and I love what you're doing.
Yeah, right back at you, man. Right back at you. I mean, I love always people just, try different things, and especially digital creators, people. But
Mm,
what I like about you is that you also have like knowledge in the business world. So it's not
mm,
like the I wouldn't say delusional, but the typical creator who blows up, who does things differently with a little bit of luck. So,
mm,
you have that insight to it as well that makes it understandable. But a lot of
mm.
times it's the opposite. So
Yeah.
it's cool to see. Yeah.
Well, it's best to understand it, like if you can, in some sort of logic as well, right?
Yeah, but the thing is with creators is that they love being creative and love running
Mm,
concepts and like looking at very basic ass numbers, but not
mm,
going so in depth as we are right now.
mm.
Because they just like they're more practical people sometimes, in my opinion, where it's more
Yeah.
like, let me be creative, fuck the analysis.
Well, I think that can come after you've like made
Yeah,
it completely, right?
yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because like a good example was I was watching a podcast with Mr. Beast and Joe Rogan, and
Mm,
essentially Mr. Beast was like analyzing like crazy. He was going through like exact sort of tone of voice, volume, the cuts, how many cuts or that
yeah.
makes it like that the like especially comparing the differences between different videos and why did this one do 10,000 more views than this one, and really analyzing that. And I feel like there's something in that, right? Obviously,
Mm,
there is a part of it being just sheer luck as well, sure. But
yeah.
I think there is a winning formula, and I can see it from people who are inspired by what I've done, but they've just haven't been able to execute it. And when
Yeah.
I look at their content, I'm like, I would have changed that to this, I would have done this, I would have done that, but I can't really. There's only so much I can help with people, right?
Yeah, I think it's to do, and it's so funny that you're saying this now because we talked about it at the beginning of the call. It randomly came up, is that
Yeah.
with like coaching programs in general, but like especially online, um,
Mhm.
and in general, really, people get into one skill, right? They want to learn how to grow a page or how to monetize or how to make money or how to do this particular thing. But they don't
Mm,
realize by doing this one thing, they actually need to level up. And while they're doing this one thing, they will level up like
mm,
5 or 6 different skills, right? Like
mm.
pattern recognition, analytical thinking,
Yep.
in-depth analysis on this and this area, like the whole shebang
Mm,
of different skills you have. But
yep.
what I noticed is that some people just have a larger interest in like these other skills too, which then makes that one skill a lot easier to grow. But some people
Mm,
also start at like a higher level of pattern recognition or thinking or analytical thinking than other people. So that
mm,
makes it also easier. And then the people who have it super, super hard, they maybe have like less interest in these other areas. They are
mm,
not good in those other areas because they didn't have interest in it in their whole life, which then makes
mm.
that one skill super, super hard to actually learn. And it's one thing that I'm thinking as like a theory for my college, future college. Like how
Yeah.
can you
Yeah, that's
basically
cool.
like incorporate exercises that will level
Mm,
up those other skills subconsciously or consciously to
yeah.
develop that one goal slash
Yeah.
skill,
Well,
because people have that one objective, but it's typically everything.
there are traits that I feel like kind of would help like be more suitable for what we're doing, essentially, some
Mm,
of the things that we're doing, right?
yeah.
And that's developed from certain habits maybe or things, but it's not like we were born with it. I feel like you can
I do
teach it.
st I do think so. I think you can
Mm.
train it, but then
Yeah.
like you're just born with like specific things,
Oh,
and but
yes, yeah.
indeed, as you
Yeah.
said, like you can train that up. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if you ever heard of it. Do you know human design?
Human design. It sounds
So,
familiar.
okay, just look it up a little bit. I'm diving into it.
Mm.
I have been coached for it for the last like I don't know 1.5 years now, and it completely changed my life for myself. But I don't know a lot about it, so I can't tell about it yet. But then when I do, I will.
Is it the book or
No, it's kind of like in simple language, kind of like I won't say a religion, but it's kind of like a personality test where you get
Oh,
like a
yes, yep,
blueprint,
yep.
and human design is all about following that blueprint, and every single person on the world has a different blueprint from one another, and no one can have the exact same blueprint as another person. It's impossible. So
Yeah.
what I always hated with 16 personalities, the big five, the disc test, etc., is that it was also so pushed in a box, right? Like you are ENTJ plus X, Y, and Z other million people, instead of being like you have these and these traits, and you know, that's the general gist of it. But I always thought there was so much more to it, specifically oriented towards the person. And human design gave me all the answers. It was very, very scary. And yeah, long story short, I'll tell more
More
about it when I
theories,
know more
yeah.
about it. But it's
Yeah, well,
in psychology, it's so interesting, man. It's crazy interesting.
and I think it's also like to acknowledge that, sure, there could be skills now that are relevant now, but who knows, in 5, 10 years' time, it could be other skills, right? And it's just that, yeah, it's just how you can pivot on that as well, how you can adapt to that. Like AI is just crazy as well. It's elevating everything at the moment. Everything's
Yeah.
evolving, right?
No, I
Like I
agree, man.
think, like I as another sort of side thing that I do is I teach English to,
Oh,
I
cool.
guess, like high school and university, and to students that need help with their English tests and stuff. But with the introduction of sort of like ChatGPT and stuff, the it's changed the playing field completely.
Yeah.
The expectations now from the type of essays the quality of essays you need to do has just, like, it's something that would get an A before is now like a general, like a B minus or a C plus sort of thing, because everyone's able to write so good now.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
it's just to adapt to that, really, right?
Yeah, it's like that learning ability, you know, the speed and rate of learning just going up tremendously. Yeah, I completely agree, man. I am gonna hop off because I'm
Yes, yep.
completely tired and done for.
Sorry for
So
keeping on for so long.
no, no worries, man. It was a good chat. And I have some valuable stuff to share with you next week as well, which I'm working on right now, which will basically streamline all the feeds that you see and want to see online into a box.
Oh wow, that's
So that's gonna be really, really cool. It's gonna be so sick. It's gonna revolutionize like our research for what content performs, what doesn't perform, etc. So it basically like
yeah.
scrapes everything that you put into it. Instagram accounts, Twitter accounts, YouTube, Medium, CNN, whatever, everything in real time, scrapes it, takes it off, puts it in your little folder. You can categorize the folder with tags and different folders, and then
Yeah.
within it, you can also have a ITFFP, which is basically like a webhook you can put to it, and you can have like the webhook trigger an automation, which then sends the particular tag or post or whatever to Discord, to your WhatsApp, to your Gmail or whatever. So you could literally
Yeah.
like say in simple language, when Patry posts content with a keyword that says potato, then, or the caption says DM me this keyword, then send this to this Discord channel. So in real time, my
Yeah.
team could only filter out your promotional content and then take a look at it and just see it there. And then you could even set up like automatic downloaders for it. So
Oh
super
wow.
sick. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's so much potential with that you can do and offer potentially.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like if you, let's say, have a fashion client, you could just make a fashion folder and in real time you can make all the latest things, all the most viral things. Like it's revolutionary in my opinion. Like having
Yeah.
Reddit in the same folder as Instagram with YouTube, with TikTok, with everything. Just
Where are you gonna house this?
I'm gonna keep it a secret for now.
Okay. No, yeah,
I'm
sorry,
still
yeah.
building it.
I'm just a curious cat, that's all.
I know, man, I know, but you know, I'm gonna just
No,
drop
that's
it
all
all
good.
to you.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be sick. I'm still playing around with it. So first I want to have like a working system so I can present it and not have a half
Yeah.
working system.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
it's sick
Anyways,
because you
thank
can
you.
kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, analyze your competitors and people that are doing the same within a glimpse.
Yeah. Well, we all need to level up, right? We all need
And
to.
it's free, so that's also great.
All right.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Well,
yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you. Sorry
Yeah.
for keeping you on for so long.
don't apologize, man. It was great. It was great. I hope to see you next week too.
This timing is
maybe
awkward
for a little
though,
bit.
but I'll see if I can.
Yeah, like that one day in the week, the Alex call and get up early.
All right, thanks for your time.
Yeah, you
It's a
too.
great chat.
Thanks for you too.
you.
My brain is fried.
Yeah, let's go. This is what we have like 4 times a week with pay clients, and my voice is shit. Like it breaks daily. Okay, well, I'll talk to you guys next
Alright.
week and hope you enjoyed. See the recording tomorrow and peace.
All right, thanks, Alex.
care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.